All right, welcome everyone. Let's just dive right into this, shall we? If you're a digital creator, you already know that AI video generation is moving at absolute lightning speed right now. But today we're going to unlock a true powerhouse for your toolkit. We're talking about the WAN 2.2 image to video model. Consider this explainer your ultimate step-by-step setup guide for mastering WAN 2.2 right inside ComfyUI. We're going to break down exactly how you can generate incredibly clean B-roll, smooth animations, and lifelike talking heads without, completely pulling your hair out over all those technical roadblocks. So let's get started. So here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with cloud setup. Then we'll explore the high and low noise engine. Next up is prompts, settings, and LORAs, followed by troubleshooting missing nodes, and we'll wrap it all up with best use cases. All right, section 1, cloud setup. Because before we even think about looking at a ComfyUI workflow, we've got to prep that cloud environment. 90, that is your magic number when it comes to gigabytes. When you're setting up your workspace on a platform like RunPod, you really need to allocate exactly 90 gigabytes for your network volume. Now, you might be wondering, why so much? Well, it's because these AI video models are absolutely massive. If you don't secure that persistent storage right up front, you're going to find yourself stuck downloading 20 to 25 gigabytes of heavy models every single time you spin up a new session. Honestly, it wastes your time, it totally drains your credits, and it completely ruins your creative flow. By locking in 90 gigs of storage from the jump, your models stay safely tucked away and are ready to deploy the second you log on. Moving right along to section 2, the high and low noise engine. With our cloud environment fully prepped, let's pop the hood and look at the core mechanics of how this AI model actually processes video. Okay, so what exactly makes WAN 2.2 tick? Unlike some of the simpler models you might be used to playing with, WAN 2.2 is an image-to-video architecture that relies on a dual-engine system, meaning it absolutely requires two separate models running simultaneously just to generate a result. You need a high-noise model and a low-noise model. If you're missing either one of these, the workflow simply isn't going to function. They work in tandem, doing all the heavy lifting of breaking down pixels and cleanly reconstructing them into smooth motion. I absolutely love how the instructors summarized this concept. They said, just like a car needs petrol, the WAN model needs both high-noise and low-noise models to run. It's literally the fundamental fuel for this specific AI engine. You can't bypass it, and there's no way to trick the system. You got to have both of those files locked and loaded in your directory. So how does this actually translate into the ComfyUI interface? Well, you're going to see two K-samplers in your workflow. Now, the K-sampler is basically the thing that compresses and denoises your video frames. But listen up, because this is a massive trap a lot of beginners fall into. The high-noise K-sampler must have noise enabled. Usually, you'll run this on a random seed, like 0. But the low-noise K-sampler, that one must have its noise disabled, running on a fixed seed. Why is this absolutely crucial? Because if you accidentally enable noise on both of those samplers, the low noise model is going to try to completely regenerate the work the high noise model literally just finished. You'll end up stuck in this endlessly frustrating generation loop that just spits out total garbage. So remember, high noise active, low noise disabled. Okay, section 3, prompts, settings, and LoRa's. Now that we've got a handle on the engine, let's shift over to execution. This is where we combine our prompts, base images, and specific settings to snag that perfect render. So what is the golden rule for frame rates here? It's exactly 16. After a ton of trial and error, it turns out the optimal frame rate for WAN 2.2 is precisely 16 frames per second. Now, instinctively, you might be thinking, hey, I want that slick cinematic look. I'm going to crank this up to 24 FPS. Don't do it. The source data is explicitly clear about this. Pushing this model up to 24 frames per second will completely break your generation, and you'll be left with heavily blurred, totally unusable video. For clean, crisp motion, you've got to stick to 16 FPS. Let's lock in the rest of those technical specs. Alongside your 16 FPS, you really need to manage your resolution smartly. When you're just testing out a prompt, just checking if the AI actually understands your vision, keep it small. 640 by 640 pixels is perfect. It renders super fast and saves a ton of compute power. Then, once you've got a result you're actually happy with, you can scale that up for your HD output, right around 720 by 1280. Keep your final output standard, an MP4 format using an H.264 codec. Trust me, these exact parameters are going to reliably hand you beautiful 5 to 10 second video generations without crashing your entire setup. All right, so how does this actually flow in ComfyUI once everything is set? It breaks down into 4 really straightforward chronological steps. Step 1. Just ensure your high and low noise models are downloaded and actually loaded into those nodes. Step 2, load up your base reference image. Step 3, type out your prompt. And this is vital. If you're using a custom LoRa to stylize the video, you absolutely must include that LoRa's specific trigger word right in your text prompt, otherwise the AI is just going to ignore it entirely. And finally, step 4, dial in your height and width based on those testing parameters we just talked about, and hit run. Which brings us to section 4, troubleshooting missing nodes. Look, it's rarely smooth sailing all the time, right? So let's pivot to the inevitable roadblocks and figure out how to fix missing nodes without going into a total panic. We have literally all been there. You drag and drop this gorgeous workflow JSON file right into your workspace, and boom, the screen instantly lights up with red boxes, missing nodes, and those incredibly angry error pop-ups. It's super frustrating when a model is missing or some custom node just refuses to load. But whatever you do, don't abandon the project. There's actually a really specific, practically fail-proof way to fix this. Please stop driving yourself crazy manually hunting for files on Hugging Face. Try this AI-assisted trick instead. First, grab a clear screenshot of those red error nodes right in your ComfyUI workspace. Second, take that screenshot and upload it directly to an AI agent like ChatGPT. Third, feed the AI your exact directory path and just ask it to generate the specific wget or git clone terminal commands you need to download those exact missing requirements. Finally, just copy those commands, open up your Jupyter Lab terminal, and paste them right in. The AI will literally fetch the custom nodes and missing models straight into your folder. It's basically magic. All right, final stop. Section 5, best use cases. With your setup optimized and your troubleshooting skills dialed in, let's wrap this up by summarizing where WAN 2.2 truly shines in your digital toolkit. So, realistically, what is WAN 2.2 actually built to do? Well, its core strengths are generating super atmospheric B-roll, creating clean, basic animations, and phenomenally acting as a massive replacement for paid talking head tools like Hedra. You can literally just drop in a photo and an audio track, and it's going to cleanly animate those facial expressions for you. But you also need to know its weaknesses. For pure, ultra-complex, heavy image-to-video transformations that have wild camera movements, yeah, WAN 2.2 can sometimes struggle to interpret those complex prompts. If you need that kind of heavy lifting, the instructor actually recommends using the LTX model instead. So, play to its strengths. Use WAN for what it does best: clean, realistic, and highly targeted motion. And that is our deep dive into the WAN 2.2 model. By setting up your cloud the right way, mastering that dual noise engine, and knowing exactly how to prompt and troubleshoot, you've just unlocked an unbelievably powerful visual tool. Now that your whole environment is fully optimized, the only limit here is your imagination. Are you going to build some moody, cinematic B-roll, or are you going to generate the next viral AI short? The timeline is entirely yours. Get out there and go build something amazing.